Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Scarb Show. We are tuned live in Salt Lake City. I'm your host, Andrew Scarborough, and the current date today is September 23, 2023. And I am joined by two special guests here. So if you guys want to introduce yourselves.
What's up, guys? My name is Sid, aka the real YungSid. Thank you for having me on the show.
Yes, sir.
I'm Cameron. I'm just here,
Hell yeah, brother. Well, we got some special guests today, so stick around, tune in, and let's get to this podcast, baby. Let's go. Alrighty, everybody. Welcome to the Scarb Show. And to start off with this podcast, we're going to dive into the NFL world, where you have a lot of news that has come up this week. Cameron, who's your team?
My team right now, I said always has been, is the New England Patriots.
Patriots, how you feeling? How they doing this year so far?
They'd always do better, but ever since Brady left, it hasn't been the same. And then they kicked Cam Newton off, so
yeah, it's been a tough couple of years in New England, but they'll bounce back. They're 500 right now. Or no, they're 0-2. That's right. Yeah, but they'll bounce back. They've barely been losing anyways. But my Denver Broncos are also 0-2, so that's not great start for either one of our teams. Yeah. But that's how it be in the NFL sometimes.
Right.
All right, so just to get into some news that's happened over the last week or so, we have a big injury that has happened on the Dallas Cowboys side. Do you know what that injury has been?
Yes, the injury to Trayvon Diggs' knee, I believe it was.
Correct, man. The out ACL for the rest of the year, bro. That's a huge hit to that Dallas defense. Of course, one of the best corners in the league right now, and one of the future rising stars, like young stars right now. So a huge hit to that defense as the Cowboys are starting off great this year at 2-0, but they lose that thing. They lose that spot as well.
Yeah.
And then speaking of the Bears, had some weird things happen over the last week or so. As their field got broken into, Soldier Field, and had over $100K worth of equipment stolen from the stadium overnight. So what do you guys think about that?
Wow, I didn't even know about
I
that
didn't know
until
that
you
either.
told us about that. They stole $100K worth of things, is that what you said?
$100K.
Oh my goodness.
Crazy, bro.
I'd be rich right now.
Yeah.
That was me.
I know, bro. You man just selling all that off?
Yeah.
And then they've also had some other stuff with their defensive coordinator. He resigned last week over some allegations that came out. Well, not really allegations, but like some incidents that happened. And apparently the FBI raided his house.
Wow.
Sheesh.
And we're not exactly sure. What do y'all think happened?
If the FBI is involved, then I mean it seems pretty serious. But like you said, we really don't know yet.
Probably like money laundering or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Or
Yeah.
like illegal drugs, maybe. I mean, they haven't came out with it, but they did say that his house did get raided, but they're not sure about it. So it's a bad week in Chicago so far.
Yeah.
And of course, they're 0-2 as well. Who do you like Justin Fields as a quarterback?
Yeah, of course I do. He's a very talented quarterback.
I think he's great. He could be better, but his run game is very good. He's showing that he can throw the ball too. But with everything that's going bad in Chicago this week, it doesn't help that the Chiefs are going to end up whooping their ass tomorrow. So, but yeah, I mean, Justin Fields is proven to himself that he can hang in this league with the very best. So we'll see.
Man, I'm on offensive spectrums. I think Justin Fields is a backup at best. I just don't think he's that great of a quarterback, but we'll see. He's still young. We'll see what happens, but
I think it just comes with the experience.
Exactly.
And with the team he's surrounded with.
Definitely.
I don't think he'll get as much as the other quarterbacks on the team. So
we'll see. And then he also called out his coaches on why he feels like he hasn't been playing well. I don't know, dude. I don't know if you take a shot at your coaches for your play.
Right.
And it's not necessarily that he's a bad player or even a bad team. Like, Chicago's not that bad of a team, but, I don't know, going after your coaches, I mean, it's kind of a low blow, but, I don't know. It's just the way it is, I guess.
I don't think that's good for chemistry for the team at all either.
Exactly.
So on that field, it's no positive outcome on that.
So definitely a bad week in Chicago. Hopefully they can turn it around this weekend and get a win. But man, some bad things that happened over in Chi-Town this week. So we'll see if they resolve all that.
Hopefully.
All right. In other news now in the NFL, we've had a couple signings over the last week as teams are, losing players due to injuries. Obviously, they're signing them to their practice squad or the 53-man roster. So what signings have we got this week?
We just got confirmation that AJ McCarron is returning to the NFL, and he signs with the former team who he was on before, the Cincinnati Bengals. He got signed to their practice squad today.
Wow, that's great for him. AJ McCarron, of course, one of the former NFL quarterbacks who played for the Bengals for a couple of years, is back in the NFL. Obviously, he played at Alabama University, was one of the best in college, so that's a great fit. I remember him and our Super Bowl run for the Denver Broncos. He almost ended our home slate in the playoffs. That was a close game. We ended up winning right at the last minute, though.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we have that signing this week, and then we also have the Cleveland Browns as they re-signed their running back, Kareem Hunt, to a one-year deal due to the Nick Chubb injury that occurred last week.
Yeah, that was a pretty gruesome injury. I was watching that game live, and I could hear the shock in the crowd. It was that bad. ABC and ESPN didn't want to show it, but there were other videos, that were surfaced. And I know you guys don't do any knee injuries and stuff like that, but man, it was some pretty gruesome shit. And we wish Nick Chubb the best. He's out for the season, and nothing but healthy recovery.
Exactly. Cameron, do you have anything to add on to that, man?
I mean, it says that he will be back in like 6 to 8 months.
6 to 8 months. That's quick.
Suffered only a torn MCL. So.
Oh man, I mean, it was pretty bad when I saw it. I didn't see it on the live telecast, but I think I saw it like the next day when they came out with it. It was pretty gruesome, and I can hear him screaming in pain through the TV. So
that's surprising. Only an MCL tear. I thought he blew his whole knee up.
Wow, I thought he did too.
Other ligaments, only MCL.
With the way that it looked, it was pretty bad, but like 6 to 8 months recovery. I mean, that's good. It could have went worse, but yeah,
that's crazy. Hopefully, he recovers, like we said, and then training regimens, recovery. Cam, you're an athlete. Have you ever had to go through the recovery process of a major injury?
Nothing major, but when I first did come out here to Utah, and of course, there's mountains out here.
Yeah.
So the first thing I wanted to do was like snowboarding or skiing. I went snowboarding.
Definitely.
I went on a bunny hill. I messed up my knee somehow, and just a couple of months ago, I got it checked out, and they were just saying to roll it out. It's probably just because I don't stretch or move my body.
Yeah.
With the sport I play, I don't move my body laterally.
Yeah, exactly.
I only move forward and backwards.
Yeah, you're a track athlete, correct?
Right.
Yeah, so how do you train for all that kind of stuff? Do you have a regimen you follow, or do you just go out there and wing it?
Nah, I have a schedule I follow through the fall season, winter, spring. Usually Mondays it'll be a mile warm up. Then we'll get into some sprints of 60s maybe, and if it's later on in the week, 400s, just repetitions.
Right on.
Then cool down after 12 of those, 3 different sets of types of runs.
Yeah.
And then after that, go to the gym. And all that takes about 2 hours.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm a former track athlete as well, so I know exactly what you're going through. I know exactly what you train for. Them cool downs be a bitch.
Yeah.
Because you're already tired, bro. And then you got to get that lactic acid out of your body,
right.
Bro. It's a bitch, bro.
The mental thing for me is just I'm out there by myself most of the time, so it's so gruesome out there for me.
Oh yeah, mind over matter for sure. You got any big events coming up?
No one has dropped their schedule around the schools yet, but I usually just match my schedule with theirs.
There you go.
Indoor starts around November.
Hell yeah.
So there you go.
The last meet I ran was at University of Utah.
Oh snap!
Yeah.
How'd that one go?
It was decent, but it was still cold, still snowing last year in April. So I was just I couldn't really run on the outdoor track like that.
Oh, honestly, April, bro, it's more like freaking winter. It ain't
Right.
spring in Utah, bro. April always sucks here. I hate it. It's always cold, but that's sick. What is your biggest accomplishment you've gone through being a track athlete?
When I came here, I think it'll be because I did USA track and field. It's like an organization for all the track athletes around the U.S. Uh, in this state, I was the junior Olympic champion for this association in Utah.
Hell yeah!
So that was pretty dope. My first year coming here.
Congrats, brother. Yeah,
That's
that's some accomplishments right there, man.
It's a huge thing. It's a huge deal for sure.
Well, you know, Cameron, one of our boys, one of our homies. You know, check him out on the track. Go support it. Go follow him. He's going to be a future Olympian here soon. I can already tell, bro.
So.
We see them. We see them accomplishments. We see that. We see the work you're putting in.
We'll be at his Olympic meets and everything too. So
Hey, Paris 2024. Look out.
yep, he's coming.
All right, everybody. Now that we dove down into the future Olympian and his accomplishments, we are going to talk about something a little different here on this podcast, as turf has become a norm in sports, not only in football, but in all kinds of sports now, which has led to some positive things, but also some very negative things. Of course, the positive means we don't have to take care of it as much. You know, it's not high maintenance. It helps out those groundskeepers, which I would know because I'm a groundskeeper for a baseball team. But the downsides to it are injuries, and we've seen a couple players go down on these turf fields and, you know, ruin their careers, not only in football, but in baseball and other sports. So what do you guys think? You guys prefer grass or turf?
I don't believe I've actually stepped on a turf field because I'm not actually a football player or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I would definitely say grass because of all the stuff I hear about the turf and the injuries.
Oh, yeah, it's risen over. What do you?
I prefer grass too because I'm a former football player as well, and you know the turf is a bitch. So yeah, the grass for sure. I mean, I never really had any problems on the turf, but yeah, I prefer grass.
Yeah, definitely injuries have occurred, especially knee injuries. Like not only with Nick Chubb, but like knee injuries. You get hooked up. You know, grass has a little bit of leeway, kind of like gives way. Turf, especially when you got metal cleats on, it just grips and it grabs, and your knees turn, your ankles turn, all kinds of. Like we saw Dak Prescott break his ankle.
That's right.
A couple of years ago on their turf field in Dallas. We came down, kind of got tackled, and his foot got caught up, and then obviously snapped in half, ruined his season. The rest was out the rest of the year, and that's just one example of injuries.
Yeah.
So, but there is many fields. The NFL is thinking about moving to grass permanently. Do you guys think they should do that?
I would definitely think it'd be a good investment for the NFL. Gotta bring in probably more sponsors and stuff like that.
Definitely. But you also had the downside on the Super Bowl last year. We had some problems gripping last year. Do you remember that, Sid?
Yes, I remember that. Yes.
You want to fill in on what you think about your thoughts of that Super Bowl?
Yeah, I mean that Super Bowl turf it looked terrible. Honestly, you know, those players, like especially with what happened to Patrick Mahomes before the halftime. You know, it's terrible.
Yeah, so there is downfalls to grass turf. Obviously, it looked like it was overwatered, and players were slipping and sliding and couldn't really grip, and it kind of changed the game. They're saying the Philadelphia Eagles lost that game because the turf was so bad.
Yeah, and it kind of didn't help because maybe it had to do with the humidity because the Super Bowl this past year was in Phoenix, Arizona. So maybe it had something to play with it, but we may never know. But I think, like Cam just said, the grass in the NFL permanently would be a very, very good investment. So
Definitely. All right, moving on from the NFL world, we're going to move to the basketball world a little bit, where the NBA has just paired with a streaming company, and that streaming company is HBO Max, and they are set to stream this upcoming NBA season, stream NBA games on HBO Max at no additional cost. So if you have HBO Max, you'll be able to watch NBA games for free.
That'd be dope.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, how do you guys feel your input? What do y'all feel about that?
I pay for it every month, so it's like, and I don't have cable up at the base, so it's like I don't really get to. I gotta pay for this, that, CBS, TNT, watching these different games.
Yep,
so cable be helpful.
Cable's definitely getting up there expensive wise. How do you feel? You think you like it, or you stick to cable?
I think it's great because nobody wants to pay for cable these days. So like. The fact that, the NFL, the NBA, the NHL, all these different sports leagues are, partnering up with these streaming services, I think it's a really good investment. And, going forward, who knows? Maybe other sports leagues can follow that trend as well.
Yeah. All right. And then I got a question for y'all. What would you guys argue based off your you're positive about the NBA streaming games and other sports entities. What about the fans that like don't have these, streaming services and can't watch? Like example, the NFL has Prime Video. They only stream the Thursday night games on Prime Video, no cable.
Right.
What would you guys say to that? What would you argue? Do you think it's a good investment for this, for not only the NBA but the NFL, MLB?
I don't think so. Maybe it's like I would see it as, oh, it's not really a big game or something like that.
Yeah,
'Cause if it's not on this channel, and this channel, I wouldn't see that as a big game like Super Bowl or whatever.
exactly. So, like, do you think they should stream not only on cable but also platforms, or do you think platforms should be exclusive? Like, you have to have. Let me put it this way: you have to have HBO Max to say watch the Super Bowl.
No, I think it'd be better if you get more viewers having multiple different platforms, attract more of an audience like that.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with you. I'm on both sides because I like that Prime has Thursday night football, but what if I don't have Prime? Then I can't watch my favorite team on Thursday,
Right,
But I got
exactly.
cable. But on the vice versa side, these people that can't afford cable or don't prefer cable can go on their streaming service and watch the game, which is great. Which is great. Not only on HBO Max, but like Hulu and stuff like that. All those big streaming services. So
Yeah.
it's going to be exciting times for the NBA season this year as they are also introducing their in-play tournament, their in-season tournament. Um, Not exactly sure how this is going to work. It's very kind of confusing, but like they're going to shut down like they would for NBA All-Star Weekend. They're shut down a week and play this tournament that like decides playoff spots or helps decide playoff spots. And what do you guys feel? How do you feel about this, Cam?
I don't really know how to feel about it. It's something new. I think over time, I think it'll start off kind of rough, but over time it'll get better and progress.
Yeah, definitely. I think so too. But it is kind of strange that they're going to shut down the whole week of the NBA just to play this exclusive tournament. Maybe in after season or even before the playoffs, but in the
Right.
middle of the season will be weird for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. How do you feel about it, Sid?
Dude, I blame the 2020 COVID season for all this shit. But no, man. I mean, I think it's very like different. That they're doing that and deciding playoffs during the season. Like the season is not like fully where it should be at, and then you guys want to decide that like the play-in tournament obviously at that off season is weird itself. So I mean. Yeah, I pretty much blame the COVID season for all of that. But going forward in the future, you never know. It could work out. It could not. We just have to wait and see.
Yeah, it is cool though, but at the same time, I feel like it's not fair because you have the seventh and the eighth. You only have six teams that are guaranteed to make it, but the seventh and eighth seed have to play against each other. But let's say the eighth seed wins, like they do last year. A couple times that have happened, like the Warriors a couple years ago lost to their eighth seed opponent and missed the playoffs. Do you think it's fair that if we play better and get a better record than you guys, should we automatically be in the playoffs, or should we play for our spot?
No, I think this is his own separate thing, and I think honestly, they should actually do this little in tournament thing, replace it with the 3 point game. That week with All Star and
That
stuff
would
like
be
that.
sick. Add some like
Yeah.
tournaments and activities to decide. That'd be cool. That would be wild though.
Yeah.
To decide a playoff spot. Oh, that would definitely be interesting to see for sure. But
Definitely.
but if you do have HBO Max this season, you're gonna tune into some NBA games hopefully because no additional cost. Why not? Why not watch some
Right.
NBA games for free? I don't know how good of NBA games they'll be, but I'm sure they'll put some big games on there, right?
It should be dope.
Yeah. So you'll probably see a lot of Lakers. That's my guarantee. I bet.
Definitely.
All right, now that we've moved on from our HBO entertainment side, we're going to move to some other entertainment side as the new NBA 2K24 game has just released just about, 2 or 3 weeks ago now, with the cover of being the late, great Kobe Bryant, rest in peace. But what a great cover to put on your new game for this year. I personally haven't played this game, but I've been playing 2K23 and 2K22 over the last couple of years. And my opinion is 2K is good, but it's kind of getting away from what it used to be. I feel like it's trying to do too much, especially with the park.
Right.
What do you think about that?
It's definitely getting a diversity for the other players who like want to see this and that, but I agree with you. It's getting away from what it used to be.
Yeah, I'm more of a franchise player. Like I like playing franchise mode more than like the park and online and
Right.
my career. My career seems like it seems to be kind of the same story every year. I wish you could, choose your own name pretty much, and not ride with the generic name that they give you, but or maybe even do. They go through the
Different
college
stories.
route, yeah, different stories. They go through the college route, but I feel like you should pave your own story instead of follow some kind of story that's already
Yeah.
paved. I mean, it's easy for me to say, but that's how I feel about it. But I'm definitely a franchise guy. What's your favorite mode to play?
Honestly, mine's is my career. I still haven't gotten out of that that setting yet.
There you go.
But my favorite part of that would be the flashback games,
Oh,
where
definitely.
you get to play the college teams and go through the freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior years.
Definitely. Yeah, I like my career. Like, I'm not hating on it, but I would like to create my own story more than follow a story. And I feel like that's what the old 2Ks used to do.
Right.
It kind of made it like it's your own story,
Right.
So, but I like what they're trying out. What do you say, Sid?
I
what's your
honestly
favorite mode?
haven't played the new 2K24 yet, but I'd have to say career mode too, and then the other mode that you like playing, building your own story. But it's kind of fun to relive the past games as well. I think it's pretty cool. But yeah,
Yeah, so I like the last couple of 2Ks. I've yet to see NBA 2K24. Obviously, I've heard it's got mixed reviews. It's got a great game, but I feel like NBA 2K is doing a little bit too much. But they definitely need to come out with an NFL game because EA Madden, I'm sorry, just hasn't been that great the last couple of years. Have you played EA Madden?
No, ever since 2009 and those little
The
eras, I
Go
haven't played.
Maddens, the
Yeah,
Go Maddens.
it just doesn't seem the same when I play it, so I haven't really been.
It seems too much of a simulation. I mean, they've obviously Madden has got rid of a lot of their stuff like halftime shows and pregame celebrations, and that's what I worry about 2K. But it seems like they're keeping their core intact. Hopefully, they can make an NFL game to rival EA because EA has been not so great lately.
it has not.
What about ESPN? You know how they used to.
All the ESPN football games too, as well. I mean, if the NFL could strike a deal with ESPN, 2K, have multiple platforms, that'd be great.
Yeah.
I mean, not just stick with EA, but do 2K, ESPN, or whatever company that
That'd be
decides.
I remember playing those games as a kid too. The ESPN and the 2K NFLs. Those were the days for sure. It brings back a lot of memories playing those games. So.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think the last ESPN game played was like 2002. So it's been a minute since I played the ESPN ones, but the EA Maddens I played, and I would love to see 2K hopefully get involved as they make their games great with the NBA, and then they have the WWE wrestling, I believe.
Yeah, they do. I like the WWE games. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like the WWE games, like the SmackDown versus Raw back in the day, was the best one. And then 2K took over, and then they eliminated the MLB 2K games, and then obviously the NFL games. So I'd like to see the NFL and the MLB return to the 2K franchise, but we'll see. We just got to see how it plays down the road. So
yeah, thank God MLB The Show went multiple platform because I'm an Xbox guy, and for years I couldn't play MLB because it was exclusively PlayStation, but they moved it to Xbox and PlayStation. So what's your opinion? Are you an Xbox or PlayStation guy, Cam?
Honestly, I don't have either of those consoles. I'm more of a computer guy, and then my girlfriend's parents got me a Switch. So that's all I'm good on.
Hell yeah, there you go.
Yeah, he's going classic. Yeah, there's a lot of PC players now as well too. I'm not. My brother does a PC, but I'm not really been on it too much because I suck at computers. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I'm terrible with computers. So.
Yeah, I have a cousin. He likes playing the Nintendo Switch. He did have a PS4. I don't know why the hell he got rid of it, but yeah, he's a Nintendo Switch guy, and he loves playing the 2K games. But me personally, I like Xbox and PlayStation both. But yeah, like you said, I'm glad that MLB The Show is on many platforms now because it used to just be a PlayStation game, and then they're just like, you know what, like let's put it on all platforms. I think they did that. What was it like MLB? Did they do it 21 or 20?
Something
That they started bringing it on Xbox and on platforms.
I think it was 20. Yeah, it was like 20.
yeah, MLB The Show 20. It was one of those years, but yeah, I mean it's pretty interesting, and it's a great investment, not just to have it on one gaming console, but on all, and it's a very fun game as well. So
Yeah, definitely. So I'm definitely an Xbox guy. I grew up playing PlayStation, but I moved to the Xbox, and I've stuck with Xbox the whole time. So definitely an Xbox guy. Hopefully, they keep these sports games multi-platform, which I believe in the future they will.
Right.
all right.
All right, everybody. Now we're going to move on to the Olympics world, where the new Olympics are starting up here in just a year in Paris, 2024. July, what was it? 20?
So the 2024 Summer Olympics will be held in Paris, France, obviously, and it starts Friday, July 26, 2024, up until Sunday, August 11th, 2024.
Definitely. And of course, track and field. My boy Cameron over here is a track and field artist right here, one of the
Right.
top athletes that's going to be in Paris, we believe. But
Hopefully.
what do you feel? How do you feel? What's your favorite event in this summer's Olympics?
For track and field, it'll be, let's say, 400. I
400?
like seeing the gradual changes within the race, and it's just so unique.
Yeah, I love
Great.
those. I love those ones. I like the 100 meter. What is it? 100-yard sprint.
Meter, yeah.
100-meter sprint, and then the 1 mile.
Yeah.
I love the 1 mile run.
Yeah, those are dope too.
Yeah, because the dudes are just hauling at you. Because those other races, you have to like pace yourself.
Right.
These guys are hauling ass right out the gate.
Right.
So I
They
love
run
the
at
mile
least like 50 seconds
Mm-hmm.
each lap around the track.
Yeah, and if you guys think you can compete with these athletes, trust me, you can, bro. It's too much, bro. I former cross country. Sprinting for a mile ain't easy, especially when they do it in like what 5 minutes, 4
Right.
minutes. I mean,
They do it in like 3.
yeah, 3
Nowadays.
minutes, bro. Crazy,
It's crazy.
how crazy athletes are nowadays.
It is crazy. You can even ask Usain Bolt. Like the guy. Is like
Guy runs
insane.
faster than a cheetah almost.
Yeah. There was one of the NFL wide receivers. I believe it was Tyreek Hill. He tried to race Usain Bolt, and Tyreek Hill. He's a fast dude, but Bolt is a legend, and he smoked him. So
Yeah, that just shows you because Tyreek Hill is the fastest. I believe the fastest wide receiver in the NFL.
he's the fastest player I ever seen in the NFL.
Ever. And you got Usain Bolt lapping him, bro. I mean, that just shows you how quick these guys are.
Yeah.
You know what? I got a question. How would you guys feel if players like Tyreek Hill like cross over to track and field?
That'd be awesome. I know some current and former NFL players did do track in like college and stuff, but
Right.
if they competed like nationally in the Olympics for gold, that'd be so sick.
You guys see that race where Tyreek Hill was competing, actually in like one of the USATF meets?
I believe I did see that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was like what a couple
of months ago.
Couple months
Yeah.
ago, yeah.
Yeah,
I saw
beginning of the
that.
year.
He hung too. He did
Yeah.
pretty well. Did he win a couple or did he?
Yeah, he was running in the Masters, so it was
Nice.
definitely for
Yeah, dude's a quick little dude. I mean, it's crazy. But I'd love to see not just NFL athletes, but
Yeah,
any athletes,
any
basketball
crossover.
players. I feel like LeBron low key.
I think those are the best athletes, honestly, when they cross over. Like Deion Sanders, he was doing baseball and football.
That was great.
And basketball. He was a great player in basketball. He didn't play in the NBA, but he did college, and it was like
Yeah.
Deion went crazy. Bro.
Deion can do it all, man. I remember this is a fact, actually. He played a game. It was during the NFL season, when the season began. It was Atlanta. He was with the Falcons. So after he played that game, he had a playoff baseball game. And then he flew from Atlanta to, I can't even remember, but I knew he played a game in the NFL and in the MLB in the same day, which is crazy to me. So it's pretty awesome to see.
Definitely. Yeah, so I would love to see that. Dude, even LeBron at 38 years old could hang. He really could. That dude's built. Puts $1 million into his body every year. Boy's built. He could do it. I mean, maybe, I don't know how well he'd do, but he could hang. He could hang for sure.
Right.
What's some of your favorite track and field athletes? You got a favorite? Or
I have favorites for both females and males. Sydney McLaughlin, LeBron. I think that's her.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
She's a 400 hurdler.
Nice.
400 meter runner. There's also everyone likes Noah Lyles, but me, I think he's like just way
Like he's
Like it's
overrated.
too much of a character for me.
Yeah.
It's not like he's not good or anything. It's too much of a character for me. I'm more like a Christian Coleman type of guy.
Okay.
And then of course there's Sha'Carri Richardson.
Oh yeah.
She's a pretty dope athlete.
She's great. Yeah, she's one of the best in. I guess you'd say the world because it's Olympics. You know?
Right. What do you guys feel about doing drugs and running? Like you know how she went through the marijuana.
The marijuana is touchy.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's health benefits to marijuana. I don't think there's nothing wrong. Obviously, they probably don't want their athletes high during their meets or just any other sport, but also the health benefits of it different from like opioids and stuff and painkillers. You know, it's naturally soothing. So,
Right.
I mean, and then it puts your mind at ease. You know, weed kind of helps you focus more.
You think it's like I think some of the officials see it as like cheating. Do you think it's like a cheating?
Not weed necessarily,
Yeah.
but like other drugs, yeah, like performing enhancing for sure.
Yeah, the PEDs for sure would be a cheating aspect of it, more than the marijuana part for sure.
But like, yeah, marijuana is technically natural. I don't think it's killed anybody. I don't think there's any records of it killing anybody.
Not that I've seen.
So I thought it was too harsh for sure. I mean, we're moving towards that age where it is becoming more legal and more modernized. So I could see it being accepted earlier.
Hopefully it gets accepted here in Mormon country. So
yeah. I feel you. In Utah, they definitely need to accept it here. Because my state, Colorado, that's not my hometown, but I wish it was my hometown. It feels like my hometown because I'm there every year. I love that state. Man, everybody's high there. And
dude, you still need to take me there, bro.
I know. They seem so chill there. But definitely, I think marijuana should be accepted in sports. Not only in just track and field, the NFL, man. Some of these guys literally tell people that every week they go through a game, it's like getting hit by a truck after.
Ricky Williams, for example, when he was doing the whole marijuana thing back in his playing career, and I think he started a marijuana business too right after he retired. So that's going pretty well for him too.
Yeah, so I mean, there's health benefits to it. So definitely. How do you feel about it?
There's been some athletes like Michael Phelps.
Yeah,
he's been able to get away with it.
Mm-hmm.
He used to do it right after his season was over. I don't know much about swimming, but I know he did that, and no one ever really caught him until, I don't know.
Until he was already solidified Hall of Famer.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
Share a story about it.
But I mean, even being a swimmer works your whole entire body.
Yeah.
It's like, it's crazy. So, I mean, I could see why they have the health benefits towards that as well. So, definitely. And I think there was a pitcher a couple years ago, like, I want to say like 5 or 10 years ago. I can't remember his name, but he smoked weed before the game and threw a no-hitter and was perfect the whole game. And
who was that player?
I can't even remember who it was.
Because I've heard about that.
But he threw a perfect no-hitter, had one of the best performances of his career because, like I said, it settles you down. You're not wound up for the moments.
Right.
So I like it. But obviously, I feel like athletes probably shouldn't be high in the middle of the game.
Right.
But the health benefits are there for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I don't know do you know who Barry Bonds is?
No, not off the top of my head.
So he was a former Giants baseball player that hit for 70 home runs, which still holds today the record.
Wow.
But in one season, not just like over his career, in one season he hit 70 home runs, but was caught using PEDs during the steroid era and has been not accepted in the Hall of Fame because of it. So you get touchy subjects about that. So do you guys think, kind of getting into my next subject here, do you guys think players that have used PEDs should be able to, if they made great accomplishments, should they be able to, be in their Hall of Fame?
That is a very tricky answer.
It's very, very hard. I'm going to touch on that Barry Bonds thing quick, if you don't mind.
Yeah,
man, I mean, Barry Bonds, no one's ever going to, hit 762 home runs in their career ever. I mean, we know Albert Pujols last year hit, 700. He's at 705, I think. It's going to be very, very hard for some of these players to hit 762. Barry Bonds, the steroids are not. I mean, he was one of the greatest like players to ever hit home runs, and then in my opinion, I think the steroid era was one of the most exciting times in baseball.
Exactly.
But yeah, man, I mean, there's some players, that have been accepted into the Hall of Fame that have used PEDs. So the fact that Barry Bonds is still not in the Hall of Fame, just because of that, and other players have, I mean, I think it's kind of messed up, but I can understand where the league and where the Hall of Fame commission is coming from. But I mean, that's Barry Bonds, man.
Exactly. So, and then there also been a rumor that the MLB during that steroid era turned a blind eye to bring popularity back to baseball. And then right after baseball was popular, they punished them.
Okay.
So what's your opinion on that? Do you think their company turns a blind eye, lets them cheat, and then punishes them right after? Do you think that's logical? Or just not just baseball, but in any sport, let's say, if that happened.
Re-explain that for me.
So let's say track and field.
Yeah.
You had all these athletes using PEDs.
Right.
Track and field, it's popular, but let's say it went from nothing to all of a sudden you had 4 athletes that were just using PEDs,
right,
and turned the sport around and gained popularity because of how they were performing based off using PEDs. But then once it got popular again, say Track and Field Association went and banned them or punished them right after, but also turned a blind eye and acted like they didn't know, because that's a rumor in the MLB. The rumor in the MLB said that baseball turned a blind eye to Barry Bonds in the cheating steroid era.
Okay.
And
punished them
just so baseball could get more popular.
Gotcha.
And then all of a sudden comes out when they find out they were using it, comes to say, oh, we didn't know about this, pretty much.
Right.
So how would you feel?
I mean, if I was him, I'd feel like terrible on the inside, because you know what you were doing, and you were doing this for this purpose, and you have no one else to back you up for it. So it's like I'm left out here alone, and it looks like I'm doing something just out here, just
yeah, exactly. And then I get you're cheating technically, but you also have athleticism.
Right.
No one can just walk up and hit a 90-mile-an-hour baseball. No one can walk up to a track field and run a 100-yard dash in 3 seconds?
Right.
Yeah. So obviously you're athletic enough to do that.
Right.
So, I'm with the cheating, and I'm not with the cheating, but especially if your league turns a blind eye to it, and then you get punched after, I think it's not fair.
I don't think it's fair either. Yeah.
I think back in the day that PEDs, a lot of athletes were able to get away with it, but then nowadays in sports, they're kind of cracking down on PEDs, but I mean, I don't think it's fair, honestly. But
yeah, another Olympic athlete that got caught a couple of years was former Olympian swimmer Ryan Lochte.
Yeah, I remember that.
He was at the top of his game.
Yeah,
and then got caught. Was kind of a surefire Hall of Famer, won a couple gold medals, got caught, and now everybody says, oh, he didn't deserve it.
Right.
But he still had that athleticism.
Exactly.
And, the Olympics probably knew about it.
Yeah.
There's shady parts in sports, bro.
I believe so. It's the same thing with the NFL, NBA, and we're not as popular as those companies or whatever you call them.
Exactly. And swimming took off when Ryan Lochte and Michael Phelps were, swimming wasn't really known, and then that during that period, especially USA, both of them were USA swimmers, took off.
Those guys took over. I mean, nobody really paid attention into the swimming aspect of it until Ryan Lochte and Michael Phelps came.
Yeah, exactly. So what I'm saying is, should you allow players to cheat for a certain amount of time just to bring your sport up and then punish them right after? Is that fair?
That definitely isn't fair. I understand the motive behind it, and it definitely works, because I believe it's any Olympic sport, winter too, because there's only once every 4 years those come around, and year 2 is just magically pops up. At least somebody's doing that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And there's been not just Barry Bonds, baseball player, but many baseball players, including Nelson Cruz, Alex Rodriguez, Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire. So they're all doing it.
Right.
I mean, and I still think they're doing it to this day, because they got chew in their mouth, and not just baseball players, but any athletes are cheating.
Yeah.
Like you got NFL players that say, yeah, they smoked weed during their career when it wasn't legal. I'm sure you've had track athletes, not just what was it, Richardson?
Yeah,
not her. She probably wasn't the only one to smoke weed, but she got caught, and everybody drags her.
Right.
So I'm 50-50 with it. So
am I.
definitely. All right, now moving on to our last subject of the day. This is kind of off sports topic, but is a very important topic. As my boy Cameron is part of the military, so thank you for your service.
Yeah, thank you for your service.
He's in the Air Force category, right?
Yeah.
So just kind of describe what's a day in the life like as an Air Force cadet or whatever.
I'm definitely what do you call it? Maintenance. There's different categories within the Air Force.
Okay.
I don't fly the jets. I am an enlisted member, not an officer. So on the enlisted side, you wake up. I wake up 6 o'clock every morning.
Gotcha.
Get ready. Yeah, get ready for work. It takes me like 20 minutes or so. Do my bed and everything. Then wash my face, stuff like that.
There you go.
Get breakfast. It's like another 10 minutes or so. Then just drive to work. And once I get to work, I fuel the jets, so we have to check out our equipment to do that.
Okay.
And that takes about 30 minutes to an hour, depending on how much trucks we got to check out in the fleet. Because we use trucks, like, those gasoline trucks you see around driving?
Yeah.
There's a special connection on certain types of trucks to connect it to the aircraft and to fuel it up.
Gotcha.
And they take about 2,500 gallons. It takes about like 10 minutes to fuel, honestly.
That's wild.
Yeah, and it's just repetition every day. After that's done, you just sit around, hang around with your coworkers, do a little busy work, admin, whatever, check your emails. And if you're me, I'm not 21, but if I was, would probably be next year. Not if I was, because I remember.
Yeah.
My coworkers, they go out to a little smoke pit until the time comes, hit their vapes and smoke their cigarettes.
Yeah, I feel
until
that.
The time comes. They're stressed, like
Oh, I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until the time comes where the jets, they go from the base, which is in Layton, they make a route from the base all the way down to Salt Lake. They turn around, and that takes about an hour. Take off, going to Salt Lake, still 30 minutes.
Okay.
Because it's miles per hour.
Yeah.
And some people think it's faster, but it's just the same. And they come back around. And when they come around, we got to go out there onto the flight line, drive on the flight line. We all can drive like 10 miles an hour. And we get that process done.
There you go.
You got to bond and ground. It's little technicalities with the planes and stuff that you got to do. And once that's done, the trucks I drive, there are 6,000 gallons.
Holy crap!
So that's about 2 jets. Yeah.
Damn.
And once you get that done, go back, fill it up. And it's been busy lately because we've been doing more exercises, getting ready for different phases with the aircraft, because there's phases that they go through that hook up certain equipment to them, and it may take a year or two, a couple of months or whatever.
Wow, that's crazy.
So it's never fully done when you see them. But yeah, and that's usually take about 8 hours a day. And once that's done, head home at like 3, change real quick, try to head on to the gym before I get too tired. And usually I take like a little pre-workout or energy drink or something, because I know what I used to do was I would be like, I need a little nap, and then I just didn't end up going. So what I do is just take a little energy or whatever. I head there, work out with a coworker for like 2 hours, and they have little things on base like intramural sports. So for another 2 hours, I do that and participate, just to get some calories burning and not sit around in my room all day. And yeah, as I explained earlier, the workout stuff, that takes about the first 2 hours.
It's a good way to do it.
Damn, that's a productive day. Is this like an everyday thing?
Yeah, it gets tiring, so I try to switch it up. But then the next two 2 hours of the day, which is like 5 to 7 or so. I played this intramural football,
Okay.
just flag football. You still get hurt in it. Someone broke their collarbone earlier this week.
Damn, y'all be tackling each other?
Nope, we're not supposed to be, but yeah.
You say competition, it gets there, bro.
Yeah. After that, make dinner or eat at this place called the DFAC.
Okay.
Because we don't get paid to do certain things like an eating allowance or stuff like. I don't have housing, so I stay on base like at a dorm.
Okay.
So yeah.
So it's like military college, kind of.
Yeah, definitely. So I still kind of get a college experience out of this.
There you go.
Right? For, and yeah, 7 to 9, and in between the day, I'm talking to my girlfriend like, I need help with this and that. And yeah, throughout the night, I'm just like, we talk to her and give her that time without the 2 hours because she's busy too. She does cheer now.
Shout out to Cam's girlfriend. Me and Sid both know her. She's a great girl. So shout out.
Love her forever and ever.
We won't produce a name on here, but shout out to her for sure.
Shout out to her.
Shout out to her.
Love you most, but yeah.
Yeah.
And after that, it's just bed for me and shower and bed.
Normal day, bro.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great. That's more productive than it seems like my day would be for sure. So definitely, that's cool. But so, what's your like ultimate dream? Like
ultimate dream.
You want to like fly one of them jets? Do you want
No, I'm actually terrified with my experience with those. I've actually kind of broken one, honestly, with a Doritos bag. I'm not supposed to say that, but yeah, I broke one with a Doritos. Went in the intake, and they got all freaked out, and yeah.
Oh man, what
Doritos bag.
Oh, Doritos bag,
so
bro.
If China ever comes upon us,
start throwing Dorito bags.
Dorito bags,
yeah.
But definitely, the ultimate thing, I just wanted to get college out of this, definitely. So
there you go.
I try to just keep that as my goal every day as it gets tiring. And
yeah, I feel that.
I get bummed out. So I wanted to be a doctor, like an emergency physician.
Nice, bro.
Yeah.
You're going for the big bucks.
Yeah, I want to make 6 figures and also work like a 8, maybe 10-hour shift and come home to a family, kids.
Dude, that's awesome.
Sounds like a life, bro.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Especially making 6 figures.
Yeah,
you'd be set,
relax,
bro. You'd be good.
I'm going in the sports world. I couldn't respect to doctors, bro.
Yeah.
The stuff they do, bro. I couldn't do it, bro. Some of that stuff, bro, is crazy. So respect for sure. So Cameron, our guy on here, is a multitude badass, bro. So shout out to him, bro.
Shout out to you, bro. Legit badass.
Yep, definitely. And then those pilot fighter jets. Yeah, fighter jet pilots.
Yeah.
They're crazy, man. That was respect. I mean,
crazy exercises.
Yeah, going that fast in the air, bro. That would scare the shit out of me.
And have y'all seen Top Gun?
Yeah.
Those are real. That kind of stuff is real. So
definitely.
Shout out to them.
That movie's intense, bro. Mm-hmm. So it kind of brings a little realistic side to it for sure. So
it's some real shit for sure.
But yeah, thank you again for your service, brother.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Seriously.
And yeah, Cameron, everybody.
Yeah,
that's Cam, guys.
Thanks for having me on the show.
Yes, sir.
Of course.
All right, we are heading towards the end of this podcast, and like with every podcast that I like to do, I like to end off my podcast with the fun fact of the day. So I'm gonna let my boy Cameron take over this one. So what is the fun fact of the day for September 23rd, 2023?
Today's random fun fact is it's like a couple. So a crocodile cannot stick out its tongue.
Oh, really?
And a shrimp's heart, it's in its head.
What the?
Yeah.
Damn.
So every time we're eating shrimp, we're just eating its heart too.
Damn, really?
Yeah, and it's physically impossible for pigs to look up into the sky.
Wow.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So they're kind of on the ground, but that shrimp one though, makes me not want to eat shrimp.
God damn it, shrimp.
Like, damn, bro, that's crazy. But yeah, so those are some fun facts of the day, especially the alligator one with those big mouths. Can't believe they can't stick their tongue out. But that is the fun facts of the day. Thank you again for my boy Cameron coming on the show. We appreciate you. And then, of course, my second co-host, YungSid.
Thank you for having me always. You guys will be hearing me on the show soon, so thank you again, bro.
Right on, everybody. And thank you guys for sticking around. Thank you guys for tuning in. And then, of course, follow my Scarb Show account Wherever you may be listening to your podcast, we're available Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts now, Bullhorn, Amazon Music. So we have multiple platforms. Check out my Instagram at the Scarf Show Podcast, and make sure you guys like and follow my YouTube account. But thank you guys again for tuning in and listening. We are live in Salt Lake City, and this has been the Scarf Show. I'm your host, Andrew Scarborough, and we'll see you guys next week.